On the last evening of the old year, when winter lay heavily upon the city and snow drifted along the narrow streets, a small girl wandered alone through the gathering twilight. She moved slowly, half from weariness and half from the cold that clung to her thin body like an icy shadow. The lights of the town glowed behind frosted windows, and the scent of warm meals drifted from houses where families gathered in comfort. Yet none of this warmth reached the child. Her steps carried her forward on bare feet that trembled with every contact against the frozen stones of the street. Her shoes, once belonging to her mother, had been far too large for her, even when she had first worn them. Earlier in the day, she had lost them in the rush of a passing carriage, and though she had attempted to retrieve them, one had vanished beneath the wheels, and the other had been taken by a wandering boy. And so, the child walked barefoot now, her small feet red and raw from the cold, her toes stiff, yet still moving with fragile determination. In her hands, she held a bundle of matches. These matches were all she had to earn money for the household, and she knew she could not return home without at least some amount to offer. Her father's temper had grown increasingly harsh since hardship had overtaken the family. Her mother was gone, and her grandmother, once the only warmth in the girl's life, had passed from the world, leaving behind only memories of gentle hands and comforting presence. The small house where the child lived was little more than a roof stretched over cold walls, with holes that let in the wind. Returning home without earnings meant returning to punishment, cold and hunger, and so she clung to her matches as though they were a final hope. Snowflakes drifted around her, landing lightly on her shoulders and melting instantly against her cold skin. The day had already faded, and evening drew its curtains across the sky. People hurried past her, eager to seek the warmth of their homes, their cloaks and coats pulled tightly around their bodies. Some glanced at the girl briefly, but none paused long enough to truly see her. To them, she was merely a small figure on the edge of the crowd, unnoticed and unimportant. As the girl walked, her body shivered violently. The cold pierced her as though it wished to claim her entirely. She looked through window after window, witnessing the joys of the season. Trees decorated with bright ornaments, candles placed carefully in rows, tables set for festive meals, and families gathered around fires that burned warm and bright. These sights were like distant dreams, beautiful but unreachable. Eventually, she reached a small corner between two houses. Here the wind was slightly blocked, and though the air remained bitter, it was a little more bearable. Exhausted, she crouched down and hugged her fragile body, trying to gather any warmth she could from herself. Her stomach ached from hunger, and her hands stung painfully as the cold gnawed at her fingers. The bundle of matches lay in her lap. She had not sold a single one. As the night deepened, her shivering grew more intense. She looked at the matches again, knowing she was forbidden to use them for herself, yet feeling an overwhelming need for even the smallest bit of warmth. The memory of her grandmother's voice, gentle and kind, passed through her mind like a warm breeze. Her grandmother had always spoken of comfort, peace, and hope, words that still lived in the girl's heart, even in the darkest of times. At last, driven by desperation, she reached for one small match. Her fingers, numb and trembling, struggled to hold it, but she managed to strike it against the wall. For a brief moment, the spark burst forth, followed by a tiny flame that flickered brilliantly in the darkness. The light was small, yet, to the girl, it seemed like a miniature sun. Its warmth touched her skin, and she closed her eyes, allowing herself to feel comfort for the first time all day. In the glow of the match, a vision formed before her. She imagined herself sitting before a great iron stove, glowing with fire, spreading a warmth so strong that it seemed to wrap her entire body in heat. She imagined holding out her hands, feeling the burning glow thaw her frozen fingers. Her feet, which had long ago lost all feeling, seemed warmed as well, and she felt a softness enveloping her. Though she knew the stove was only a vision, its warmth felt real enough that tears touched the corners of her eyes. But the match was only a match. Its flame flickered once, twice, and then vanished, plunging her again into the cold darkness. The warmth disappeared instantly, leaving her shivering harder than before. The girl stared at the burnt-out stick, wishing she could bring back the warmth it had given her. She inhaled sharply against the cold and lit a second match. Once again, a bright flame burst to life, and once again, the world transformed around her. This time she saw a table covered in food: roasted goose with crisp golden skin, bowls of sweet fruit, warm bread fresh from the oven, and all the delights she had not tasted for so long that she had nearly forgotten their flavors. She imagined herself reaching toward the feast, feeling the aroma surround her, lifting her spirit as though it might carry her away with joy. But the match burned quickly, and before she could hold on to the vision, the flame died. The table disappeared, the food vanished, and the cold returned. Desperate for comfort, she lit a third match. Its flame illuminated the wall beside her, making it seem as though the bricks had suddenly turned transparent. Through this radiant wall, she imagined a beautiful Christmas tree reaching toward the sky, decorated with sparkling lights and shimmering ornaments. Each light glowed like a star, and the tree's brilliance filled her with awe. She saw the ornaments shine in colors she had never seen before, and she imagined reaching up toward them, feeling them twinkle beneath her fingers. The match burned to its end, and the tree faded. Darkness gathered once more, thicker than before. With each vision, her longing for warmth, love, and companionship grew stronger. But she also felt increasing peace, as though the flickering images offered her moments of escape from the harsh world around her. The night grew colder. Snow continued to fall. Her body, already fragile, seemed to have reached the limits of endurance. She leaned against the wall, breathing shallowly, her gaze drifting toward the sky. She lit another match, perhaps without even realizing she had done so, and in the flame, she saw her grandmother, the one person who had ever truly loved her. Her grandmother appeared radiant, her face filled with warmth and gentleness. The girl felt a rush of joy, a joy so deep and overwhelming that it seemed to lift her heart in a single instant. She reached out, longing to be close to her grandmother again. But as she watched, the flame flickered, threatening to go out. Panic rushed through her small body. If the light vanished, her grandmother would vanish with it. She could not bear to lose that warmth again. So the girl struck more matches, one after another. She struck them quickly, desperately, until the entire bundle glowed like a small sun. The flames surrounded her, bathing her in a light so bright and warm that the cold around her disappeared entirely. In that light, her grandmother stood before her, more clearly than ever, smiling with all the love the child had longed for. The girl felt her grandmother's arms envelop her. She felt warmth that did not fade. She felt peace stronger than anything she had ever known. And in that radiant moment, she realized that the cold could no longer reach her. Hunger could no longer touch her. Fear could no longer follow her. she was safe. In the world of light, her grandmother lifted her up. Together they rose, higher and higher, beyond the darkness, beyond the cold streets, beyond the suffering of the world. They rose toward a place where no winter winds could blow, and where love was everlasting. In the early morning, as dawn broke and the first sunbeams stretched across the quiet street, passers-by found the small girl lying in the corner where she had spent the night. She sat still, her cheeks pale but peaceful, her expression calm as though she were resting. The burnt-out matches lay scattered around her, their charred remains speaking silently of the warmth she had sought in her final hours. Those who found her did not know the visions she had seen. They did not know the warmth she had felt, or the love that had finally welcomed her. They saw only a child who had succumbed to cold on the last night of the year. But somewhere beyond the world's reach, the girl's spirit walked in a place of light beside her beloved grandmother, safe at last from hunger, cold, and sorrow. And so ended the story of the little match girl, a story of hardship, sorrow, and loss, yet also a story of hope, love, and the gentle comfort that awaits beyond suffering. Her matches, though small and fleeting, had carried her spirit toward the warmth she had long been denied. And in that final journey upward, she had found the peace she had sought for so long.